A jury ordered Los Angeles County to pay a total of $31 million over graphic photos taken and shared by first responders from the site of the helicopter crash that claimed the life of former Lakers great Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others. After an 11-day trial, it took less than 5 hours of deliberations on Wednesday before the jurors came back with a verdict in the U.S. District Court in downtown Los Angeles. Vanessa Bryant, a co-plaintiff in the case, will receive a total of $16 million for emotional distress and future suffering, according to Law and Crime. Chris Chester, the other co-plaintiff in the case, who lost his wife Sarah and daughter Peyton in the accident, will receive a total of $15 million. Bryant and Chester filed a lawsuit in October 2020 that alleged that the LA County Sheriff's Department and LA County Fire Department violated their right to privacy. According to the lawsuit, attorneys for Bryant and Chester alleged that at least 10 members of the Sheriff's Department obtained and possessed images of the victims' remains on their personal cell phones without any legitimate reason for having them within 48 hours of the January 2020 crash. Moving away from there, still talking sports business news in the world of football, Rangers have agreed a new multi-year agreement with Electronics Arts Sports Division, which will see the Scottish football giants license their IP, including the Ibrox Stadium, to feature in this year's FIFA 23 title game. The partnership, which will cover the gaming titles EA Sports FC, rebrand next year, also designates the video games developer as Rangers' official partner in that category, where the club set to launch a number of esports initiatives over the coming months, including international events and matchday activities. EA Sports will receive enhanced brand visibility throughout Ibrox, as well as integration into branded content across Rangers' digital platform. Now moving away from there and talking golf, still about sports business news at this time, the PGA Tour has announced a 10-year extension of Century Insurance's title sponsorship agreement for the Tournament of Champions event in Maui, Hawaii, which will now run until 2035. The 2023 edition of the Tournament of Champions will feature an expanded prize purse of $15 million, almost double the $8.2 million purse of this year's competition. From the start of the 2024 event, it will mark the beginning of the PGA Tour season as the series switches to a calendar format. The Tournament of Champions comprises of all winners of PGA Tour events from the previous year and will also include the top 30 players from the FedEx Cup Playoffs points list from 2023. As the PGA Tour, let's move away from there now, still talking golf. As the PGA Tour faces competition from 54 Golf, Commissioner Jay Monahan announced a host of changes to ramp up excitement for fans and add incentives for players. A set of players have committed to playing in 12 headline events in the FedEx Cup regular season, plus the Players' Championship, the Masters, the PGA Championship, the US Open, and the Open Championship. Now, 4 events have been elevated within the FedEx Cup, in addition to another 4 announced in June. The events will have an average purse of $20 million. The Tour's Player Impact Program, which rewards players who draw attention to the game, will double its total payout to $100 million per season, as well as reward 20 players. The criteria will be altered, including the removal of a social media component. Now, fully exempt members will be guaranteed $500,000 per year, starting in 2023, and earn against that minimum until it is reached, while rookies will be paid upfront. And those are about the stories making the commercial side of sports in terms of sports business news at this time. But still talking golf, we have to talk about Tiger Woods. Yes, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, top golfers on the PGA Tour, have launched an initiative, a new golf event known as the TGL, which is a tech-infused golf league that would project live golf tournaments on virtual surfaces. Now, the event is set to tee off in January 2024, and the TGL will have 6 teams of 3. In other words, it's a team format with 6 teams of 3, and it would include 15 Monday night matches, which is 18 holes over the course of 2 hours. I take that again, Monday night matches, 15 of them over the course of 2 hours. It will be played over 18 holes. The first of its kind, the tech-infused venues will also carry a live audience. In other words, this will be a tech-infused golf event that would have live audience while it's played on virtual turfs. For Woods and McIlroy, are the only two golfers confirmed for the TGL, but you can be assured that in the coming weeks and months, you would have other golfers sign up for it. There are also, reports that Tiger Woods, being the needle himself, will definitely bring about more media jostles for media rights, among others. Now, like the 54 golf tournament, the TGL will offer fans a team golf format, which, as I said earlier, is a format of 6 teams with 3 players each. Like the 54 golf tournament as well, the TGL will be a faster and shorter event lasting just 2 hours. Like the 54 golf tournament, it will also compete for US media rights deals and adds dollars, talking about dollars from sponsors in terms of adverts, and that's from next year. Although, unlike the 54 golf tournament, the TGL will have golf's most valuable commodity, which is Tiger Woods. The 15-time major winner is definitely one to jostle for when it comes to sponsors and the top brands in the world. So in terms of media rights, in terms of sponsors, you can be assured the TGL won't lack anything when it comes to attracting top brands to sponsor it. Let's see how this pans out. Remember, it's a competition now for the PGA Tour. It's no longer the dominant, well, it is the dominant tour on, when it comes to golf, but it is no longer the only tour. You now have the 54 golf series, which is backed by the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund. And as a result, the PGA is now coming up with several measures and initiatives to ensure that they compete favorably on all fronts. The PGA Tour has suffered several losses in terms of players quitting the tour and jumping ship to that of 54 golf. The likes of former world #1 Dustin Johnson is there. Bryson DeChambeau is among those who have also moved to the 54 golf Invitational Series, not forgetting Bubba Watson, Ian Poulter, and the list is seemingly endless. As a result of that, you had a PGA Tour an indefinite ban on some of these players who, jumped ship. But right now, the PGA Tour is also coming up with its own initiative and increment in terms of prize money across its tournaments, just to ensure that players stay and, make do with the PGA Tour and its various events. It must be said that for the TGL Live, that's the TGL initiative by Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods. It's, it was birthed by the meeting the top players had just days ago, where they had to unite to speak against the, 54 golf series and try to rescue the PGA Tour, as it were. So let's see how Rory McIlroy as well as Tiger Woods push through with the TGL. It will be intriguing to see how that pans out in the coming days. The Lakers are set to finalize a deal for, the Minnesota Timberwolves guard, talking about Patrick Beverley, and that's definitely an intriguing one for several Lakers fans, as they will team up with the likes of LeBron, Westbrook, and Davis, all on your screen right about now. You have the Lakers, trying to seal the deal from Jazz. It must be said that the former Clippers and Minnesota Timberwolves guard was part of the deal that saw Rudy Gobert move to the Timberwolves. So he will be priced away from the Utah Jazz, and that deal is set to also send Talen Horton-Tucker, that's the Lakers guard, who will be making the move to the Jazz, while Stanley Johnson will also be part of that trade. Again, this is definitely a very good trade for the Lakers if you consider the quality of Patrick Beverley as a guard. It must be said that over the past 5 seasons, Beverley has held opponents to just 41.9% in shooting. So it shows you how much of an impact it will be defensively for the Lakers, who were 21st in the league. They were talking about defense last season. So it's all about shoring up that back end of the court for the Lakers, and Patrick Beverley is definitely a very good addition to the Lakers. He will be joining the likes of Anthony Davis, LeBron James, as well as Russell Westbrook, just as I said earlier. Now, he's arriving with an expiring contract of $13 million, and as a result of that, the Lakers will definitely have a significant salary cap to make room for more players come next season. So they will be able to add more players, quality players, it must be said, even as the Lakers look to rebound from that disappointing last season where they failed to qualify for the postseason. Well, let's move away from there now and talk tennis all the way. And it's all about the U.S. Open. It's 4 days away. Today is the 25th of August. 29th of August is the destined date for the U.S. Open to begin. And it's the last Grand Slam of the year with so many players gunning for that. But one player won't be there, and that's the 2016 champion, talking about the women's category, Angelique Kerber, who announced via social media that she will be taking time out of the sport as a result of a new phase of her life, indirectly announcing that she's pregnant, and she'll be taking time off to raise a family. So this comes as a loss to the tour itself, considering how competitive Angelique Kerber is. But the last time she played was at Wimbledon, the third round in July, and hasn't played much. Has also had to battle with injuries over the last few years. She'll definitely be missed, but the three-time Grand Slam champion should be back sometime next year. We do not know precisely when, probably in a year's time or towards the end of next year, but most likely by 2024. She didn't state she's 32, so you can't expect that. She's 34 rather, so you should expect that she's winding down her career, as it were. Let's see how that pans out. She won't be the only one. You also have other mothers who are playing on the tour, so it's nothing new. Victoria Azarenka is one two-time Grand Slam champion, a mother playing on the tour. You have Tatiana Maria, you have Vera Zenarova in the mix, not forgetting Serena Williams, who is also a mother, still playing on the tour, although Williams will be retiring at the end of this year's U.S. Open. So it's Kerber who will be missing this year's U.S. Open.